It's David Wow here. Who will be a better Stellar Awaken character, Tsukiha or Suzette? Given that it can take a ton of time to Stellar Awaken a character, unlock the skills and upgrades you want, and then grind them out to level 100, you may be wondering, who should you spend your time and efforts on more? Fiery Tsukiha or Gothic Lolita Suzette? Or maybe you're just curious, who can deal more damage? I spent the past 24 hours tinkering with them, so here are my thoughts. By the way, if you have your own thoughts and strategies for Tsukiha and Suzette, let us know in the comments below. Would love to hear your ideas. Before we get into the nitty gritty, you gotta be aware of some stuff. They say that you can now Stellar Awaken Suzette or Tsukiha. This doesn't mean they're instantly Stellar Awakened. Firstly, they need to be their 5-star versions of their characters first, and you actually need their 3-star charts to unlock their Stellar board first. I did a much more detailed guide on how to do this, but remember, to Stellar Awaken characters, you need 3-star charts. Where do you get the 3-star charts from? If you already have a 5-star Tsukiha or Suzette, you will automatically get 1-star chart for each of them. How do you get their other 2-star charts? Here's where it's clear that WFS wants some extra cash this Christmas. You can get another star chart for Tsukiha if you pay to pull in the Murasame star chart banner, where you can get a guaranteed 5-star on this, plus a guaranteed Tsukiha 5-star pull ticket and star chart. You can also get another star chart for Suzette if you buy the Dragoon star chart banner, where you also get a guaranteed 5-star character in this banner, plus a free 5-star Suzette and matching star chart. These paid banners are also another way for you to accumulate more light and shadow points for Suzette and Tsukiha, because as you may already know, you need a maximum of 80 light or shadow points each to fully unlock each of their stellar boards. But if you're efficient, you can probably get away with just needing about 30 to 35 points, and some people are even fine with just spending 16 light or shadow points or even less. This is clearly a money grab, which can be annoying for some, but if you're going to spend money on this game anyway, all the characters in these banners are pretty good and can complement Tsukiha and Suzette pretty well. So not only do you get a pretty decent 5-star character, you also get a guaranteed 5-star Tsukiha or Suzette on top of that. For the free-to-play players who don't have Tsukiha or Suzette, or if you have them but want to pull them again to get another star chart and maybe some extra light or shadow points, you get this pretty rude Tsukiha and Suzette banner. It costs 1,000 hard-earned chronostones. Here you get a fantastic 0.8% chance of getting either of their normal styles in a 10 pull. Just think about that, 0.8%. Which means for the cost of 1,000 chronostones, you have about a 99.2% chance of not getting one of their 5 stars. But miracles do happen. As a side note though, I would personally save my chronostones for Winefica, who is predicted to come at the end of this year, because with no pity system in Another Eden and a 0.8% chance of getting the 5-star character you want, you're going to need as many stones and as much luck to get Winefica as possible. She's also a Stellar Awaken character, which means she will also need 3-star charts and a bunch of shadow points to unlock her stellar board. Is anyone else tired? Anyway, you can also buy a maximum of 2 of Tsukiha and Suzette star charts from No Poor Emporium for 400 Tsubaras gems each. There are other ways to get star charts, which I've spoken about in my guide. I've linked it in my description, so check it out after this video, especially if none of this is making sense to you. Just remember, use your star charts and Tsubaras gems wisely, as we've got new characters coming and they're pretty exciting. Also, before you even Stellar Awaken Tsukiha and Suzette, also ask yourself if you even want to dedicate the time, effort, and maybe even actual money to Stellar Awaken them. With the latest update, you automatically get a bunch of improvements to their existing skills. They've also released Tsukiha's True Manifest weapon, so if you beat that, she gets a decent overall boost. So Tsukiha and Suzette automatically become more powerful without you even having to use up your resources to Stellar Awaken them. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's say you still want to Stellar Awaken Tsukiha and Suzette and want to know who is better. Given that it can take a ton of time to Stellar Awaken a character and then grind them out to level 100, you may be wondering who you should spend your time and efforts on, or maybe you're just a bit curious. Firstly, Tsukiha is a fire slash unit and Suzette is a wind piercing unit. They're both mainly used for attacks. If you have Minolka, who's a great fire slash unit, maybe focus on getting Suzette first, as there's currently no other wind piercing unit that impresses me as much as the new Suzette does. That being said, Tsukiha, if set up correctly, can now actually be much stronger than Minolka. So if you think it's time to replace Minolka, now may be your chance. If you look at both of their new skills, Suzette has more impressive user-friendly stuff going on for her. She automatically sets pain and poison, so you no longer need to worry about having another pain or poison setter in your team. Suzette's Bolt of Bahamut skill also automatically sets Wind King stance. It does a whole lot of stuff, such as when in stellar mode, pierces the enemy's barrier and ignores resistances. You can pause the screen to read the fine print. If you want a simple explanation for the skill, just know that you use it to set Wind King stance and deal a ton of damage. The newly upgraded Dragon Assault skill can also inflict ridiculous multi-billion damage, and in some times I've found it doing more damage than Bolt of Bahamut. I pretty much just use these two skills as they're all I've really needed so far. How much damage do they do? Check this video, and there's a twist to it that blew my mind, so keep watching. Also, shout out to user Hismena for helping me fine tune my Grasta setup and making my skills do more damage than they used to. So with this setup, I was able to reach the damage cap and deal over 3 billion damage by turn 2, and by turn 5 I'd inflicted 17 billion damage in total. And you know what the messed up part is? After doing this, I checked Suzette's equipment and realized I'd equipped her with some of the weakest equipment in the game. This means she's able to inflict this much damage with the most basic weapons and badges. My Suzette is only level 89 here too, and hasn't reached her full level 100 potential yet. I've included the full recording of this fight at the end of this video for your reference. And here, I'm using a similar strategy to beat Morris's True Manifest final battle. I used to find this battle pretty hard. This would have been quicker if I just stuck to Dragon Assault, but you can see how much more powerful Suzette has become. A popular way to beat Morris's True Manifest in the past would have been to use Sesta and a pure wind team, but now all you need is Suzette, and you can use a mixed element team like with what I'm using here. Next, we have Tsukiha. If we're looking purely at the stellar skills, Tsukiha's most interesting stellar skill is the extended blade mode, where she gets plus 100 to her power and speed. But what's cool is that from then on, after she uses a skill, she'll follow it up with the deadly Myriad Blaze move. If set up properly, this move can be a billion or more damage move. Unlike Suzette, Tsukiha can't set Raging Fire stance. She also can't instantly inflict pain and poison at battle start. Tsukiha has the Shadow Slash skill, which can set pain, but it will take up an entire move. It took me a while to figure her out, but I got Tsukiha dealing about 2 billion damage on turn 2 and ranging from about 2 and 9 billion damage every turn after that. Her Myriad Blade skill performs better with the lower her HP, but you can see that my Tsukiha was full health most of the time, so I could have done more damage than what you see in this example. Like Suzette's video, I've recorded the full recording of this battle at the end of this video for your reference. With my experiments, Tsukiha can be just as strong as Suzette, but for me, it took me a lot more time to figure out how to get her to deal more damage properly. So who is the better character of the two? If you could only pick one character to spend your time and effort to Stellar Awaken, should you pick Tsukiha or Suzette? To be honest, it largely depends on you. It depends which character suits your personality and playstyle more. Me, personally, I like characters who are easy to understand and can deal hilarious damage with minimal thinking. That's why I'm leaning more towards Suzette. She's a pain, poison and zone setter all in one, plus she's arguably the strongest wind piercing unit in the game right now. And if you look at the tier list, she's pretty much the strongest unit in the game right now, tied with 5 others. Plus, Suzette was my very first 5-star gacha character and one of my favorite characters from the early days. I'm also a huge fan of her story arc. Before you go, here's a quick experiment. What if we put in 4 Stellar Awaken characters and get them to fight together like the Avengers? I know there's so many ways you can set these characters up and so many equipment and Grasta combinations, but this is still very interesting to look at. And I think the award for the most impressive looking skill goes to Serious. The way he uses that favorite skill of mine, Volley Fire, just looks super aggressive and I love it. But if I'm looking at this properly, the characters doing the most amount of damage are Suzette and Tsukiha. And I haven't slowed this down to really analyze it, but I think Suzette wins best damage in this particular scenario anyway. If you look at the final results, it only reaches about 2 billion damage because of the damage cap, but I'm sure there's a way you can configure these characters where each hit will deal about 2 billion damage. Keep watching to see my full Suzette and Tsukiha damage tests and strategies, and it may be useful to watch these if you have Tsukiha and Suzette and they're just not reaching the damage you want them to reach. And they may also be useful if you think it can do better. Feel free to share your strategies below. I'm always learning, so I'd love to know your tips.
Bygone! Eee! Blessings upon you! What? There! Bygone! O ye dead, bring forth your infernal darkness! Blessings upon you.